Who are we as individuals? What does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be a person? The standard understanding and definition includes things like our name, what we do, how we spend our time, our roles, mothers, wives, friends, members of this or that community. Deeper, start to encompass our past, where we come from, maybe even our meta past, like our parents and grandparents. Where in Europe we come from has some kind of impact. A Hungarian is different than a Russian. A Russian is different than a Lithuanian, different. May even encompass our future, and as much as we can be aware of our future, what our dreams are, our ambitions, what we want to accomplish in this life, our identities. On an even more external level, what we have, where we live, all of these are usually elements that combine to give us a sense of self. This is who we are. And there's truth to that. There is truth to that. But a fundamental feature of that layer of self-identification is the experience of separateness. Because the cluster of all of those elements in my life is going to look fundamentally different than the cluster of those elements in your life. And the same is true for you vis-a-vis everybody else you know. Because everybody has a sense of self that's composed of their own unique elements, and their life lives within its realm, and your life functions within its realm. And that's what these identities are marked by. So much of the interpersonal issues that we have, oftentimes one with the other, relates to that part of my identity, responding, reacting, addressing, protecting against, processing that part of someone else's identity. And over there, me and him cannot share the same space. It's either or. It's either or. There is a deeper layer of identity. And that deeper layer of identity has absolutely nothing to do with all of those elements that I mentioned before. And this layer of identity is not less me, it's actually more me. It's more fundamentally or essentially me. What is this layer of my identity? That layer of my identity is the way in which the drop of my soul is part and parcel of the ocean of the collective Jewish nation. In this sense, my deepest identity is absolutely one with the deepest layer of identity of each and every one of you who are sharing this experience with all of us today. It's synonymous. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha mamish, as the Talmud Devorah adds that word, mamish. To love your fellow like you love yourself, mamish. Not you should take note of how much you care about yourself and then care about them. It means something much deeper. In loving them, you are loving yourself. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha mamish. In this sense, we are one. Two Jews are not two separate things. They're one thing that fragments into two separate containers. We are one. We are unified by a unified mission. And that means that no matter what you think you have planned for today and what you had planned for last week, and no matter what your ambitions and dreams are, and all of the other elements that we discussed before, there's something deeper than that that must motivate all of the other elements. To fill all those other elements like a soul fills a body, which is the mission of revealing the presence of Hashem in this realm, what's called tachtonim, a dira betachtonim, to give God a dwelling space in the physical world, to become conscious of Him and to enable other Jews to become conscious of Him. How? I do that differently than you do that, and you do that differently than the next person does that, because we have that external layer of identity where we are different. But that only means that we are intended to use those disparate elements of our lives that are each different one from the other to reflect that singular light in a unique way. But the mission is the same. There's no difference. This is our collective, unified ambition in this world. To become an Or Lagoyim, to become a light unto the nations of the world. Not because we are the light, but because we are the window pane through which that light shines. Now that window pane is splintered into myriads and myriads of different colors, because the light contains within it the potential to shine through a red pane and manifest a red light, and shine through a green pane and manifest a green light, and so on and so forth. What's red and green is the difference between my external identity and your external identity. All of our lives and our narratives and our experiences and our traumas and our struggles and our challenges and our talents and our abilities and our interests and our hobbies, etc., 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 etc. That's the color of my window pane. The light is the same. My job in this world is to do the best that I can to pull up the window shade. That's my job. My whole job in this world, in Torah and mitzvahs and tefillah and everything that we're trying to work on, midos, etc., is simply trying to get myself out of the way so that I can remain conscious and allow that light that's not me, that's bigger than me, that's broader than me, that's bigger, to shine through me. And what I'm saying about me is true for each and every one of you as well. This is our true identity. And in this place, we are one. We are absolutely one. In this place, there's no space for judging. There's no space for castigating. There's no space for petty fighting, because it's not either or, it's and. It's and. In this space, we recognize HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs different kinds of Jews doing different kinds of things. And that each of us in our lives, every person where they are on their journey, is exactly where they're supposed to be in the divine scheme of things. There is no bad or good. There is no element of b'di'evet or lechatchila. It's exact. Where you are right now in your life is exactly where Hashem needs you to pull up the window shade so that that light can fill the kalim of what you've been through and manifest to the world in a unique way. In that space, there's space for all of us, because we are fundamentally unified in that space.